Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today, Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service. Ed, I'm sure it's tough for you to get away, but I'd love to have you in studio sometime. I really would.
Yeah, I think I could work that out. I mean, especially if we have Clinton's only not a half hour away, maybe, but
20
I could
20
I could
minutes
scoot
probably
over
from
there
your
for an
office.
8:30.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be
Yeah.
cool sometime. We'll talk about that. Bring your laptop over with all your info on it and get us hooked up. But at any rate, Ed, I see some rain to our west. Are we going to be blessed with any of this weekend?
Yeah, I think there's really good chances as we head between now and Monday that DeWitt County gets, some soaking rain. How much is that going to be? It's a little up in the air. Let me look. I'm looking at the amount of precipitation that is in the forecast, and it looks like, boy, yeah, 3/4 of an inch to an inch over the next 3 days is in the forecast.
Okay.
And then even on Monday, boy, another wave of storm. So the wettest day looks like it's going to be Monday. The highest probabilities of precipitation.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're an 80% chance of pretty good rains there. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. It's not just going to be a little ground spotter. We're going to get, an inch of rain pretty widespread across the central Illinois area here in the next 3 to 4 days.
Sure.
I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but we average an inch a week in summer. So at least get us to our normal out of this particular wave.
Right.
That'd be nice.
Give us the breakdown. What's the rest of this Friday hold? What's Friday night into the weekend? Give us kind of that breakdown day into the night through the weekend, if you don't mind, Ed.
Sure, you bet. Yeah. So today, that wave of rain's coming from the west. It's approaching the Illinois River. It should get to DeWitt County with some light rains. Not a lot is going to happen probably out of this particular wave for your area, but that's going to be more like a mid to late morning potential. And then there's going to be a break. A few more thunderstorms could bubble up just along or south of DeWitt County in the middle of late afternoon again. But the real wave of storms for us in the focus is after midnight tonight. We have a slight risk or a marginal risk of some severe weather, and mainly that's windstorms. So there could be some trees knocked around a little bit at night, and that's, could potentially cause some power outages, which is never fun at night if your air conditioner goes out and it's pretty muggy in your house. Things start warming up pretty quickly. So, the threat is primarily a wind threat tonight is what I'm kind of pointing out. So as those storms roll through, and it looks like a little bit of a line of storms, which, wind storms can knock a few things around. So just be ready for that overnight. If your clock is blinking in the morning, you may have had a little bit of a power bump. It's not going to be widespread, wind damage, but, just be ready overnight. If you have your weather radio, make sure it's tuned in. And, if things get really excessively strong and maybe a tornado warning is needed, you're ready to act on it.
Yeah, sure. Marginal risk, it sounds like, though.
Yeah, DeWitt's in the marginal, but slight risk is just to the north.
Okay.
All
right. Well, we'll keep that on the radar. How about Saturday into Sunday, Ed? What are we looking at?
Yeah, Saturday, the chances of showers and storms are in there through the day Saturday. It's hit or miss there. Saturday doesn't look like a kind of a washout. The chances are 30% during the day, 30% at night. So kind of popcorn, summertime thunderstorms, no real cold front or anything moving through, kind of like that. But highs are going to be, pretty muggy. It's going to be upper 80s, 88, and we normally are, right around 80. So the dew points are going to rise. It's going to be uncomfortably hot when the sun does come out. Saturday and Sunday's a little cooler, but that's because we're expecting more widespread showers to be coming into the area. 70% chances is our forecast for precipitation chances there. So it looks like a little bit of a wet end of the weekend, which is good for, the ground, but highs only around 84. So not intense heat, but certainly 84 and muggy is going to feel hot.
Sure.
And then overnight, Sunday night into Monday, we still keep those shower chances pretty high, in the 70% chance on Sunday night. And then Monday, as I mentioned, 80%. So, we'll have to see what kind of ground soaking we can get out of that. But Severe weather threat is not looking excessively high in any of those Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday timeframes right now.
Mhm.
We do have a marginal risk on Saturday. Oh, and I see actually DeWitt County is in the slight risk, a level 2. They expanded that to go a little bit further south now to include Lincoln, Decatur, Springfield. So we are level 2 tonight for those wind damage threats. But
Yeah.
so it looks like a good dose of rain could come, and Sunday looks the wetter of the 2 days. So if you do have something outside, Saturday might be the better day to try and squeeze it in.
All right, very good, very good. So wet weekend, Ed, and I'll tell you what. Let's get into next week. What does the week ahead have for us here?
Yeah, the theme is going to be hot. The heat's going to come in, the humidity's not going away. We're seeing the shower chances taper off Monday night, still lingering in the evening with 70% chance on Monday night. And even on Tuesday, some pop-up 40% chance there. So roughly a little less than half the county may get some rain there. But the high on Tuesday goes up to 89. And then from there, once we get rid of the shower chances Tuesday night, Wednesday, the sun comes out and we're 93. Thursday, hot, 95. And when that says 95, that's in the shade. If you're in the sun, you can add 15. Then the heat index is going to be added to that. So our heat indices are very much likely going to be in the low 100s. So we usually issue heat advisories around 105 heat index. But if we're going to get up to about 110 heat index, then we go with the excessive heat warnings. So it's going to be pretty hot mid to late week. So we're going to have to really just hydrate all week long. Just make a daily note to, you want to drink till you really feel like, oh, I'm kind of almost full from drinking, because then you're going to be hydrated enough that particular day.
Sure. You bring up a good point. Ed Shimon, National Weather Service from the National Weather Service in Lincoln is my guest on the Zoom here this morning. You bring up a good point about those heat warnings that go out throughout the summer. Ed, if you don't mind, can we get a breakdown of those as we start to enter the time of year where we're going to see those notices popping up on our cell phones?
Right. Yeah. And the numbers are triggered by what we have for heat index or apparent temperature. There's other like wet bulb globe temperature that the schools are really using for any sporting activities or practices. And those are a lot lower numbers. When you hear a wet bulb globe temp in the low 80s, that's kind of the equivalent of heat indices, nearing upper 90s to near 100s at times. But wet bulb globe temp takes into account more things than just the heat index. But we issue our headlines for a heat advisory at 105 heat index and excessive heat or extreme heat warning, with 110 heat index. And impacts happen way lower than when we have headlines. I kind of want to just make sure that everybody understands that. If you're outside in the sun and the temperature is in the low 90s, we aren't going to have a heat advisory or an extreme heat warning probably, unless the humidity is really high. But you start to feel impacts well below when we have, depending on, your hydration level and things like that, or activities. So don't always wait. Well, they don't have a heat advisory out, so I should be okay. Always plan for, on the side of overhydrating. If you're going to have to be outside doing any kind of activities, whether it's sports, work, or, redoing a deck, whatever you're doing outside, just always be cognizant. You want to really excessively hydrate prior to getting in there so your body's ready to go.
Well, and I would say, Ed, also listen to your body, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the key. If you start to even get a little bit of a headache while you're outside, you're already at the point of, then you're seeing some of, not necessarily, just not heat stroke, but, your body is starting to succumb and losing too much moisture. Your brain needs white moisture to function. And if it starts to lose it to the skin for sweating, you're going to feel that headache pretty quickly. And then, immediately, get out of the heat, start hydrating, take a break, because it could quickly turn into heat exhaustion. And then, where your body starts to, it's over excessively depleted its moisture, and then it starts to slow down and sweating, and you really almost feel hot and clammy, or so to speak, dry, skin changes function there. But yeah, it's really important because we do have a lot of loss of life every year with heat. Heat is number one nationwide for our loss of life from a weather-related, factor.
Wow.
It's heat by far, and it's not even close. I mean, heat is up in the 250s or 300 a year nationwide, and the next ones are, rip tides. Actually, rip currents are almost number two in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And then extreme cold, and then you finally get the flooding. Flash flooding is the next, weather related one in there. And then tornadoes is below that. So heat can cause a lot of problems very quickly because it's everywhere. It's not like, a tornado path went through and that's it. It's heat. It's everywhere. And, so you have to figure out a plan to counteract that, have a place to go for air conditioning, or, get in your car and turn it on and just sit in that if you have nothing else. Have a plan that if heat starts to impact you and you need to be outside for whatever reason, you're ready to go to keep yourself safe.
Sure. Good advice. Well, I'll tell you what, Ed, on that note, let's go ahead and take a break rather than start in on another topic and have to cut it off in the middle. Let's break here. Where do folks go for all things weather forecasts and weather data?
Weather.gov/Lincoln.
That's Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, my guest on the Zoom. More to come with Ed on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Friday. I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. Corn and beans starting the day slightly lower, and Chicago wheat slightly higher. July corn opening 421 1/4, down 3 1/4. September corn down 2 3/4, 430, and December corn 449 down 2 3/4. July beans opening 1126 1/2, down 3. August beans down 2 1/4, 1130 1/4. November beans 1140 1/4, down 1 1/4. July Chicago wheat 585 1/2, that's up 3 3/4. July KC wheat up a penny, 621 1/4. July bean meal down 20 cents, 313.50, and July bean oil down 38 cents, 75.91. Energy market August Brent crude oil down 71 cents, 94.32. Opening numbers on this Friday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
This is Inside.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton.
It's been great. You and Ben and the entire team are doing a great job. And we're just continuing on serving the local community, right? This is what this is all about. We're here to serve our local community. We're here to tell the local stories. We're here to cover the news. So nothing in that regard is changing. Our goal is connecting people. And that's our tagline at Hart Media Group. It's connecting people.
Hart purchased the Miller Media Group in August of 2025 and looks forward to serving the community for years to come.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln. Hey, Ed, let's dive into the rest of the month. I know you gave us the outlook for next week. Actually, if you don't mind, if you could, give us kind of a day-by-day of next week, and then we'll jump into that maybe 8 to 14-day outlook, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah. Next week, Monday is our highest probability of rain and storms with 80%. And then that continues Monday night, 70%. Tuesday, 40%. Tuesday night, 50%. So the rain is in the first couple of days there. But once Wednesday hits, the heat really sets in. 93 sunny on Wednesday, 95 Thursday. And then even similar heat on Friday, I think in the low 90s. So the next chance of rain after Tuesday night is probably going to be the following weekend at this point. So that heat is really going to make it impact, several 3 to 4 days of low to mid 90s when your body is not really acclimated. that can have some impacts. And then beyond that, we start to look in our outlooks. So when we grab onto the 6 to 10 day outlook, that's an above normal temperature. I mean, solidly. I mean, what are we in the 80 to 90th percentile of potential of above normal temperatures from June 10th to the 14th? That's pretty high. It doesn't necessarily mean how intense is the heat. It's just the probability that we're going to be above normal. And by then, I think normal highs are 82, 83. So we solidly are going to have a potential to reach those 90s, I think. Precipitation wise, it looks like we're right on the border of above normal precip and near normal through DeWitt County, but it looks like, those storm chances will probably return at the end of next week. The 8 to 14 day outlook takes us into toward the middle of the month, 12th to the 18th. Above normal temperatures, we're in the 40 to the 50th percentile, so we're kind of middle of the road there, but definitely warmer than normal all the way through the middle of the month there. And then precipitation shows above normal, just slightly 33 to 40%. So just the first tier above normal for precip in the middle of the month. And then beyond that, the last part of the month, we're actually seeing near normal temps showing up. So that's showing that the last part of the month may have a few storms because the precipitation is about the 40 to 50th percentile above normal there. So for precip, and that's good. We want to make sure we don't start our because we're in the flash drought outlook for the 12th to the 18th, or the 10th to the 14th, I should say. We're in that outlook for, if we don't get a lot of rain this weekend, we could be in trouble there, because we're teetering on our soil moisture has really dropped off. May was bone dry, really. So we're headed back towards drought, even though we had a really wet end of April and early May.
Yeah.
The spigot was shut off, and May was well below normal across the entire area. So
yeah,
June looks like we could get periodic rains just enough, but we're teetering on expanding our drought right now.
a couple of things, Ed. You hit it on the head right where I wanted to go next. How much do we need this rain this weekend?
We really need it. If we don't get a solid inch, even an inch and a half, and we head into that heat spell, that's going to the moisture is just going to fly out of the ground. And if we have any kind of wind is the number two. Well, actually, it's even more than heat almost. If there's a windy day, the moisture just gets sucked right out of that soil so fast. Seeing, with your skin, if it's windy, you don't feel the sweat on your skin, so you don't realize how much moisture you're losing. So so we're really going to be in trouble drought wise, and about heading back into a more significant, impactful drought, by the middle of the month, if we can't really just get a bunch of rain into the ground here in the next 3 to 4 days.
No question. Yeah, going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what we get this weekend. But sounds like relief could be on the way for the latter part of June. The second thing I wanted to ask, Ed, is what is our normals in terms of say, rainfall, temperatures for June? What do we usually see this month?
Yeah, right. And this, like for today, it's 81 for a normal high, 59 for a normal low. And precip wise, we roughly get a little bit more than 1/10 of an inch a day. So we get a little over 4 inches of precip for the month. By the end of the month, we'll be normal as in the 86 in high and 64 low. So pretty warm. Yeah, when you're normaling in the mid 80s and lows at 64, that means dew points are probably roughly around 64. For you to get a low temperature, well, not necessarily, I guess, but dew points are usually pretty high. When you're in the late part of June. So but roughly each day we get about 1/10 to 1.15 inches in rainfall on average. So
Sure.
Hopefully we can realize that and get some 4-inch totals here this month.
Got it. Hey, let's dive into, Ed, July, August, September. What are the long-term outlooks telling us these days?
Sure. Yeah. June, July, August, the summer outlook is equal chances for above or below normal temperatures. June's probably going to end up above normal. So we may end up not having as many heat waves probably in the mid to late summer time frame. Hopefully that happens, so we won't exacerbate any drought conditions. But precipitation wise shows equal chances of above or below normal, but below normal is really close by in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So it tells me the storm tracks are going to be a little further south, and we may be getting into some heat with not as much frequent rainfall. So just gotta hopefully get enough rain in June to stave off any kind of problems, or, by midsummer. Because by late August, we usually are drying out into the August, September, fall timeframe, setting up, possible drought conditions there. But when I click on July, August, September, we're below normal temperatures. So something is telling me the late part of summer, might not have as much dog days of heat as we head into we add on September into that, late August. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But that's good. Cooler than normal fall temperatures is not a bad thing.
No.
Get some harvest and, without any problems there.
Yeah. Will that mean anything for crop development or anything like that, Ed?
Yeah, the precip doesn't show above normal in that late summer either. It's equal chances with below normal to the north and south of us. So, we'll have to keep an eye on, and maybe some drought conditions might creep into there. But I think the bulk of the growing season, when the corn is really maturing and starting to produce product, I think if we can get some rain here in June into early July, that'll help tremendously for the yields that'll come out of the fields.
Gotcha. Going to be interesting how it all plays out with that below normal temperature outlook. You don't usually see that in the summertime. So
July, August, September, I don't think I've seen, and we've been looking at these for years. You know that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen in many, many years, 10 plus years, that a late summer, early fall is at a below normal temperature.
Yeah. No doubt.
So.
Well, Ed, on that note, 1 minute with you, sir. Did I miss anything you want to talk about, whether it's trends coming up or just some campaigns the Weather Service is running, anything like that?
Yeah, lightning safety is the 21st to the 27th. And then if you want to go to a website about safety from the Weather Service perspective, it's weather.gov/safety. Instead of going weather.gov/Lincoln, weather.gov/safety, and heat is right there and everything is right there.
Sounds good. Hey, Ed, appreciate you as always, my friend. We'll catch up in a few weeks if that's okay.
You bet. Sounds good.
Very good. Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, is my guest on the Zoom here for this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. If you miss any of our time together with Ed here for this morning, just check out Facebook and YouTube, and we'll have the replays of our interviews there. Also, video highlights at our WHOW Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news on the way.
WHOW.